Hello and welcome to the Broke Book Girls podcast, your go-to destination for indie reads. We're your hosts, Anne and Bree, and we would love for you to join us as we journey through all things indie. Here we aim to highlight incredible indie authors, explore new worlds, and introduce you to books you won't find anywhere else. Tune in to find your next read, have a laugh, and share in the joy of finding your home. Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Broke Book Girls podcast, the pod that is good for your soul and bad for your TBR, like your go-to destination for indie reads. Today's episode is something we have both discussed that is very important to get into, especially with the happenings of the world right now. But before we get into reading, into our episode, of reading is political, guys. This is serious. And before we get into our recs and our discussion, what you're reading, Anne?
I'm currently reading Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I read Spark last month and I've just had to carry on with this series. I am loving it so far. The tension between Luther and DM is great. I hate Henry. I don't see how anyone can like him.
Thank you. Henry is the worst. And I
don't understand how people like him.
Here's the thing. Penn is a solid Henry lover. Like this is her child. But she's just like, nah, Henry's not a bad guy. I was like, Henry's the worst.
He's the worst. No, I don't like him.
But you've met Taryn?
Yeah.
Isn't he the best?
He's so good and so funny. Yes. I love him so much.
Yes. This is where
I'm having
kicked up lovable side characters.
Yeah, I'm having the best freaking time. But yeah, so I'm going to be reading book 3 next month. Definitely. What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading Rhodey by Cleo Brown. Mm-hmm. We're both reading books that the other one has been like, read it. I am having the absolute best time with it. Like, it sucks when I'm at work and I have to stop reading because I have to go back to work. I'm just, you can just tell her humor comes through like so perfectly, and I'm like, this is just so much fun. It's so funny. I'm sitting there giggling to myself because I'm like, hey, this is my sense of humor. I can't believe I haven't read this earlier. Not my normal reads. Definitely not so much like a mafia romancy kind of person. Gangy kind of it, but this is I'm having the best time.
It's so different but so fun at the same time, and it definitely leans into that Butcher and Blackbird and lights out humor, but it's definitely a little bit lighter. And Tuesday and her granddad are just the ultimate duo. I love them so much.
I think my favorite, I've actually been going through it. Like, I've been highlighting and commenting to myself because I'm like, I'm up to chapter 18 and it's Pops. So I'm like, yes. Yeah. My favorite one was, as much as I don't want to like Shitstain, I mean Rhodey. And then the part that had me absolutely dying at work was, do you know how traumatizing it is to be on your evening walk, enjoying the quiet night sky, all to hear the pure terror in your baby sister's voice as she screams, "What the fuck, Brady? What is wrong with my vagina?" And I was sitting there pissing myself, and everyone was like, "You're good," and I'm like, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm having such a good time. The
humor is reading
everything that Cleo writes, because if this is how much fun I'm having with Rhodey, I cannot begin to imagine how much fun I'm going to have with everything else. Because it's like my sense of humor, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I love it so much. I'm so happy that you're enjoying it.
Oh, I'm like, this is like, I think the minute like they cracked a joke or something, I'm like, 5 stars. Like, this book is just 1. It is my favorite read of February, and I think this is my second book that I've read.
It's been a busy month.
It's been really busy. Hey, look, I did really well in January. I think I'm allowed a moment.
Absolutely.
Anyway, moving on to today's topic that we have opted to speak on, we are gonna be basically getting into reading's political.
Mm-hmm.
It's very prevalent at the moment. We've all been on the interwebs. We've all seen it. We've all seen the discourse. We've all seen the drama. I've actually seen the drama. Like, guys,
Which is shocking.
you know it's bad when I notice. So we're gonna talk about our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions, because our opinions matter, and then give you some good book recs for to
Mhm.
fit in with the theme. And you've got an article.
Yes.
Do you want to read that?
Yeah, so basically, this article is going to be linked down in our show notes as well. It's from csusmchronicle.com, and it's just reading is political, why the media we consume matters. And this kind of article talks about how there's been this trend across social media that a certain group of people want politics and reading to be two separate things. People don't want to be having political discussions on these platforms because reading is supposed to be fun and escapism from difficult topics and discussions. And I'm here to say that that is bullshit. And so is this article, basically.
Mm.
And I just wanted to highlight a couple of really important quotes from the article because this just highlights everything that we're going to talk about in just a really succinct way. So, throughout history, literacy has been a tool of oppression and liberation. Literacy has been used against marginalized communities to keep them oppressed and maintain power structures. Literature has been long been an important tool for challenging societal norms and amplifying marginalized voices. To engage with books is to engage with the ideas they present, and often these ideas are deeply political. The push of the keep politics out of books also raises questions about privilege and perspective. For many readers, particularly those from communities who've been marginalized, the personal is inherently political. Stories that reflect their lived experiences are not political by choice, but by necessity. Demanding apolitical discourse translates to wanting literature that centers around privileged, uncontroversial narratives. And I just think that really encapsulates everything that we're going to really talk about today.
Yeah.
It is political. Reading has always been political. And to sit here and say, oh, I just want to read my fun books and have like escape from the world is quite a privileged stance, I think.
Mm. I
Yeah.
think when I was doing like a little bit of a, you know, search, I don't know, and something came up where someone had asked back in 2024 on Goodreads.
Mm.
Well, Goodreads, I'm not the biggest fan. But this was my favorite comment when someone asked, "Is reading political?" This is from April 2 years ago. Reading is inherently political, whether you like it or not. The pursuit of knowledge is political. Yes, I know some people read as a form of escapism, but unconsciously, the materials you consume can affect our perception and ideologies. Even through escapism, we still take away things from books we read, thus gaining knowledge. This gaining of knowledge is the reason why so many books are banned and or censored, why the Nazis burned books, etc. The freedom to pick and choose what we read, the freedom to think and form opinions, even to reject opinions, is political. And I read that
Absolutely.
and I'm like, that's actually, I mean, this is from 2 years ago. Like, this is an ongoing
Mm.
conversation that's been going on for years, but it's just become more obvious now with everything that's
Yeah.
going on in the world and people trying to shut down other people's ideas. And it's like, oh, actually, I'm sorry.
Mm.
We've formed opinions, and yeah, it's the way that it is. And this is the world sucks.
The world does suck. It's a scary place right now.
It's yeah, it makes me very grateful for where we are in the world, even though we have
Yeah.
our country has its own issues, and we definitely. And I think working in healthcare, I see a lot of it, and I go and like I see a lot, and I'm like, this is fucked. But
Yeah.
we're not facing the same issues that say our friends are in America. Like
Yeah.
those, that is
100%.
really what has probably mostly sparked the need for this conversation to be had at the moment.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's such a hard thing to navigate as well. Um, because yeah, you want to protect your peace and you want to read your books and have a fun time, but you can't ignore the suffering that's happening to other people within our community. Um, so yeah, it's just a really important topic that people need to talk about, people need to discuss, people need to read more
Mm,
widely and understand that, yeah, from I'm Irish, I'm white, I'm straight, I am in a hetero relationship, like I have a very privileged life.
mm,
Um, and to be able to have the opportunity to pick up these stories from marginalized communities and
mm,
being put in the shoes of their lives and what they've been through is really special and really important to kind of understand what's happened in the world and just build more empathy, I think,
mm.
is the main thing.
Yeah, and I guess being able to read these stories from as also a straight white female with living in New Zealand, I'm lucky enough I have a good job. I have my family around me. I'm not being persecuted for who I am, how I
Hmm.
identify and what I look like.
Hmm.
Is it, I mean it, reading these stories just gives those people the voices that they really need, and we need to be respecting that. As you say, it's another perspective
Yeah.
that needs to be heard. And the reason why people write these stories is so that way their voices are heard. They are putting their experiences into stories to be like, hey, this is actuality, and to see, and this
Hmm.
is this is what we're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, if you think about it, all these stories that we read, and some of them are horrific with the things that happen to these characters that we love and adore, this is happening to real people.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to really remember. Like, yes, these are stories, but these are based on things that have happened to people. These are things that have happened to these communities. And we
Mm,
need to be aware of that. And I think it's just really important from a privileged standpoint to be able to
mm,
come and have these discussions. Kind of, if you didn't even realize that this was happening and this is what you need to do, then I think it's just really important that we are here to be like, hey, read diversely, open up your minds, read these books, like have a look around about what's happening in the world and seeing if
mm,
there's any small thing that you can do.
mm. And I mean, as I say, we are so far removed from it all,
Mm,
and we are just two voices. We're one voice with this podcast, but it's still a voice that counts. And the more that everybody speaks, the more they talk, the more awareness that is raised for all of these other voices that need the support, that need the. I'm looking for a word and I can't think of what it is. Um, nope, it's gone. I can't remember the word that I want. We've just done a lot. We've both just worked today.
yeah,
But anyway, it's still any way that we can give people voices, no matter who we are, where we are, when we are. It needs to be done.
yeah, 100%. 100%.
And it's also, this has been a really good opportunity for us to also educate ourselves
Yeah.
and just be more mindful, I
Hmm.
guess. I know for myself, like I've definitely been like, okay, cool. I need to be. I've definitely found I've been more mindful. Oh, there's my hair tie. Yeah, it's an
Yeah,
interesting time.
definitely.
And history has a tendency to repeat itself,
Hmm.
and all we can hope is that we can make some kind of change so that way it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
But
100%.
people,
I'll never forget. People do suck. I'll never forget visiting Auschwitz in Warsaw when I went over there. And there is this plaque at Auschwitz, and it's quoted in like every single language of the people who were in this concentration camp. And it
wow.
basically says, like, um, let history not repeat itself.
Mm,
And it's scary to see the cycles that history is going through. Like,
mm,
we're slowly reverting to these like archaic thoughts and opinions, and it's just not right, and it's really scary, and it's also feels really overwhelming, and you're also sitting here going, what can I do to help? What can I do? Um, and yeah, it's supporting these authors, reading their stories, sharing things that you're seeing online that is providing information, um, and just doing what you can. Like, I know being in New Zealand, we can't do anything to help our American friends, really. Um, but having them in our thoughts and prayers and hopes and everything like that, and also just checking in with them, and um, research, lots of research and learning about what's happening, because a lot of the media is biased, and finding finding as much information as you can so you're aware of what's going on.
And actually getting the information from the
Mm.
people experiencing it. So talking to our
Hmm.
friends in America. Sorry,
Hmm.
my foot's stuck. There we go. Um, Talking to our friends in America, we, as you said, media is biased, and we only see here in New Zealand. We only see like this much. We
Yeah.
we we don't see the bigger picture and understand what's actually going on. So it's talking to your American friends, talking to your people who are going through is okay, what's actually happening?
Hmm.
Because yeah, media doesn't show everything. Media shows what it wants to show, and
Yeah.
it's always done in a way that either makes a person look really good or really terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We're here.
mhm.
We support every one of you guys if you're listening, and we are so sorry that you're going through this and seeing this horrifying stuff. And our DMs are always open for conversations.
Absolutely, we
Yeah.
love you. We support you. If you're an asshole and you're listening to this, please fuck off.
100%. We don't want you here.
We don't want you here. We don't want any. This is not a top. Even though, yes, we're just we're little voices, but we're still voices, and we still want to hear other people's voices because that's important.
Yep. 100%. We don't agree with any bullshit, bigotry, racism, homophobic behavior, AI usage,
Mm.
anything that hurts people, the environment. We're not here for it. We
Yep,
want
we
nothing to
don't
do with
want
it.
it. Yeah, it's heavy topic for a Monday, Anne.
It is. Guys, let's be truthful here. We tried to record this yesterday, and both of us were absolutely too exhausted and
we
too feeling unwell to have this serious conversation.
we came on and we kind of just stared at each other and then kind of went, "Do you want to
Mm-mm.
do this tomorrow?" We were both like, "This is not a today." So we're doing it today after we've been at work and been filled with rage by other people.
Pretty much.
This is a top. I can't fuck. This is a topic that deserves rage.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So we do have a bunch of book recommendations that we have as well, that we want to kind of that prove that reading is political, that they are talking about very specific things, and will definitely open your eyes to certain discussions and topics, I think. Do you want
Yeah,
to start with your first one?
yeah. So Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of like classes and one group of people thinking they're better than this group of people in this uprising, and then people doing things wrong and not the way they should be doing, and eyes being open to how things should actually be done and why things are being done the way they're doing.
Yeah.
Spark, the Kindred's Curse saga, when I read it for the first time, I remember sitting there going, this feels very close to reality with what we're looking at and what's even happening now. And I love how Penn writes it and how she does
Mm-hmm.
it with the political drama and the fights and the arguments, and it really hits home. Yes, book 3 is a very long book, but it is so worth it. It goes book 1, book 2, book 3.
Yeah, they get chunky.
They get chunky, but throughout it all, there is the common theme of the politics are there. These are what the rules say. This is not how it should be done.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the bottom line, and politically with that book, and I love it so much. I love reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, like these people are being put into situations that they never would have been in, and seeing
Mm,
how these people live actually compared to what they've been taught or what they've seen from certain people within the community. Things like that is just really, really important. And like just seeing their eyes opening and forming these friendships and relationships, and
mm,
realizing that
mm,
all the things that we all know about each other are being fed incorrectly to us, so we are constantly fighting. And I think that's a really big theme of what's happening right now. There's so much different propaganda, I guess is a good
mm.
word to use, against
Yeah.
both sides, that it's really hard to wade through and kind of find what's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really look forward to is book 4 and what Penn's going to do, especially with the current climate of how the world is. And
Yeah,
she's just finished writing book 4. That's going to be a
I know,
big
I
book.
saw.
It's going to be I have a feeling everyone's going to read it and be like, fuck, man. Not only
Especially
because it's,
with
yeah,
it being written
everything.
in this period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of feels perfect. It's like on a non-indie note, like with Suzanne Collins, she only writes something when she has something to say.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this feels absolute, like this just feels perfectly timed. Not on
Yeah.
purpose, but it just feels perfectly timed for how everything is.
Yeah.
But that's
100%.
my first rec. What's yours?
My first one is Dagger Math by H.M. Wolf. This kind of exploded over the last couple of weeks. If you're not aware of this book, I don't know where you've been. You've probably been living under a rock. Rock, yes. Dagger Math is I had to buy it on I had it on KU, and
Hmm.
then I was like, no, I'm gonna buy it on Kindle. So I bought it on Kindle, and then I was like, no, fuck this. I'm getting it as a physical book because I know I'm going to love this book.
I did the same
And
thing. I bought it on Kindle and I was like,
mm,
I need physical because then I can,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it is being traditionally published sometime this year, which
Oh,
is really, really exciting. And we love that
we're
for
doing it
HM
at the
Wolf.
right time.
But yeah, but this is a very hard book to read, but also really, really good.
Mm,
It explores the themes of power, oppression, how government can have full control without you even realizing, the kind of like
mm,
the slow progression of all of these new rules being introduced and all these new laws and all these new things, and then all of a sudden you realize you're completely isolated and you're being on the outskirts of this very rich utopian world that's on the inside, and you're just fighting to survive and doing what you can to survive. And it just hits home. There was like, if I read it on Kindle because I didn't want to ruin my indie edition, but the amount of highlights that I had throughout this book were insane. Like, it is just, there's certain lines that just hit you and you're just like, oof, as you're reading. I was like, as we're talking, I'm like slowly trying to like find them, but I've got like hundreds of annotations right now. But this book is just so good. We have Grayson and Shadira. Shadira is hired to kill Grayson, who is the son of this ruler of this area. And he's kind of questioning his life, questioning everything around him, and Shadira is ready to take him down because his family has destroyed her and her family, and she ends up attempting to kill him, and it is a failed assassination attempt. So his father has then decided, okay, well, this is going to work in my favor. I can show that I have destroyed this woman and made her into the perfect person that we want her to be by marrying her off to my son. And we're kind of watching Grayson and Shadira deal with this and kind of surviving basically and doing whatever they can to survive while also learning all these new truths and figuring out all this stuff. And I'm just still crashing out over this book because this book was so freaking good. And I will definitely find some of the really good quotes, and I think we'll make a graphic as well and post some of the really important quotes from these books that I think would really hit home. I think would be good.
Daggermouth is on my next. It's my next book that I'm going to read. So as soon as I've finished Rhodey, I am jumping head first. I think I've got one thing on this weekend, and I'm like, I could take the other day or that weekend to just read and Daggermouth, and like I like as soon as I finished Rhodey, this bad boy is coming out. And I may have to also read it on my Kindle so I can annotate, because I don't really want to annotate my indie cover. But then when it gets traditionally published, and then I get
we can annotate.
Then we annotate the
living hell.
We're fucking weird. But no, it's absolutely. We'll do it after we've picked all out all of our quotes. We can be like, here's our favorites that fit with the with not the narrative, with what we've been talking about.
Yeah, 100%. What's your next one?
So my next one is Of the Curse of the Crown by V.B. Lacey, which we've both read, which we both loved. Which I was actually just looking at my annotations from that book, and basically with this one, we follow Clarissa, who is becoming the empress of the green place. What's it called? Viridia.
Oh, I can't even remember. Yeah, Viridia.
Wicked. The green city, basically. That's how I see it in my head. And she is off to another place whose name I can't remember right now. And her there's the whole court thing, and her people are trying to be like, no, this is what you're going to do, because this is going to do this for us. And then there she goes to the Isles, where she meets her future husband, where they do get engaged, and she meets all these people, and people are being oppressed, and there's secrets, and there's lies, and there's cover-ups. And one of my favorite quotes from this book was, it's not about what they deserve, it's about doing what's right for those who can't help themselves. Which I was just looking through my annotations. My comments, I didn't make any comments, but it was, my annotations were very short. I didn't make many on this one, but that was the one that really stuck with me. And it's really fitting, because it is true. It is not about what people deserve, because if people got what they deserved, it would be far too fair. It would be, the world would be. That's called equality. We go for equity. Equity is where we need to be. This is one of the things that I learned, that we got taught in nursing, was that it's not about equality, because if we had equality, then everyone would be on the same level and not getting the help that they actually need. Equity is making sure that everybody is at the same level. There's this visual, and it's of a fence, and it's got a grown-up, a mid-sized kid, and a tiny kid, and there's 3 boxes, and it's, so that everyone can see over the fence. And then equality is everyone standing on one box, and the adult can see over, the kid in the middle can kind of, and then the little kid can't. Equity is the little kid is on 2 of the boxes, the mid-sized kid is on 1, and then the adult is just standing, and that way everyone can see, everyone's being taken care of. And I felt that this was one of those books that really strongly spoke to that. That it's, you need to give the people what they need to actually help them, not what they want, what they deserve. That was one of the things that I really loved in this book.
Yeah, that book is so good.
It was so good. And I think Vanessa's really good at touching on these things of, you know, that is just on, yeah. And she just touches really well on this is what's going on with the people do not need what they do not need what they think they deserve.
Yeah.
Which is really thing with what a lot of what we're seeing is that people are going for what they think they deserve, not what they think, not what they actually need. And that's why we see all these idiots in power getting more power because that's what they think they deserve.
Yeah.
Oh, that took me back to nursing school and textbooks. Jesus.
But that is a really good way of putting it, though. I really like that. I've never thought about it that way because everyone's always fighting for equality. But when you think about it,
It's like
everyone
I
needs different
always
things.
when anyone says like, oh yeah, equal rights, and I'm like, it's not about it's not. Yes, I agree, equal rights, but there are in some instances where you don't need to be equal. You need to have what you need.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really poorly phrased. Everyone deserves rights. I just want everybody to know that I am not against rights. I don't know how to word this otherwise. I give up.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, we do. We
It's
do.
the
We do.
boxes. I can see the textbook picture in my head, and it's what we learn with healthcare. It's not everyone thinks they need all of this, but actually some people need this, and that way we all end up with our heads above the fence. We can swim and not sink, and actually,
Mhm.
be treated like the human beings that everyone deserves to be treated as.
Yeah.
That was very convoluted. I apologize. What's your next book?
My next one is The Unborn Duology by C.H. Lane and Tracy Barsky. We've had C.H. Lane on the podcast before. We didn't really talk about this series, but this is a series, a duology that Cheyenne wrote one of the books and Tracy Barsky then wrote one of the books, and it kind of joined together, and it's a really good time. But this is basically about in a world that there was this massive war that broke out, and these scientists then created these super soldiers. And these super soldiers were basically raised from a test tube and kind of rapidly grown, given all these like super strength and healing and all of these kind of things to help them win the war. Now the war is over, and we're kind of walking into these people's lives, seeing them as this lower class compared to the humans. Like they did all of these things to win this war, fight this war. They lost so many people because of these wars, and they're not treated as human because they were born and raised differently to humans. So I think that is just really important and really relevant right now because of there's so much racism in the world. Like, yes, this is kind of more of a sci-fi take on things, but it's the same. Like it all is the same. Someone's raised and born differently than you, and you are automatically put on a lower rung or a higher rung because of you think that the way that you were born and the way you were made is just more inferior, and that's just not the case. And yeah, it's just these sisters are then standing up and fighting for their rights and their love and their living their lives and having freedom. And I think it's just a really, really good duology.
I need to read that duology.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's on my list.
As we said, good for the soul, bad for the TBR.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting when we read these books and then we just sit there and go, this hits so close to home. And it's just so, like every book, no matter what we're reading, no matter where it's based, is always a smack. Like there's always a gut punch of reality in there with what we're facing and what's going on. And it just kind of hits home a little bit. But that's why we read these.
That's why we read these. Yeah. 100%. What's your next one?
Well, my next one's kind of a little bit similar. Null and Void, a book we both love and adore in this house. We love Ray, and we love Ray Moody's books. Null of words, guys. Sorry. Very similar with the whole classes, um, and just the whole the slavery, which is pretty close to what's going on with people not getting the being able to getting paid piss poor to do a job they should be paid more to do, for a system that is failing them and not looking after them. And yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking when I put this down. Is it's
Yeah.
just it's just there's not there's just such a lack of care going on in the world, and that is why, like with the nulls, it's the nulls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the nulls are they're nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just, yeah, that is my main thought when I was thinking about what books to put on this list, was that is what seems to be how society is viewing certain people, is that you're not, certain areas of society look at people and go, you're not a person, like you're
Yeah.
not worth my time, which is
Yeah.
why, yeah, that was that one.
My next one is Xanterra by Maria Montoya and Grace Pearson. This is
Mm.
another kind of dystopian, but everyone believes it's sort of a utopian world.
Mm.
Basically, these vampires rule this city, this enclosed city, and there is a monster outside of this city. And everyone believes that this monster is really bad and really dangerous. And the vampires are their saviors and kind of kept them safe and has kept them happy and everything like this. But in this world, you grow up, you get born, you basically get taken away from your parents, you get put into the schooling system where you're brain fed, like spoon fed all of this propaganda and information. Then your job is chosen for you, your partner is chosen for you. You then have a certain amount of years before you are told is when you need to have children. And this all just really hits home, especially with
I
the
was gonna,
expectations put on women.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, and it also hits home with certain uh, things about like the American education system,
Yeah.
from research and kind of information that I've learned about, is the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of America, like that you have to do at school, and it just felt very
Mm.
similar to things that I've heard, and it just was scarily very realistic, but still really, really good. And basically, Xantera, we're following this one character, and she realizes that she feels strange. She doesn't know why she feels strange, like just things aren't adding up. She doesn't know
Mm.
what's going on. And she starts investigating and kind of finds out that everything the vampires have been telling them is untrue. And she has to try and save all of these people and herself and kind of give everyone the freedom that they deserve. And yeah, it's just, again, it just hits home. It's very relatable. It's very realistic and scary.
Yeah. Jesus, that is another book that's on my list. But yeah, it was when you're just talking, when you're talking, like, they're being taken away from your families and
Mm,
spoon and then fed this information. It hits very home with America's immigration, with them
yes.
separating kids from their families,
Mm-hmm.
being a
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
Far out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was being like the thing that hit the most was like, all right, your partner is chosen for you, and then you have, I think it was like 1 to 2 years of you just being a married couple, but every single Sunday you have to have sex, but you're not allowed to have a child until 3 years from now when we tell you
Now.
that you need to have a child. And when you're actively like going to have a child, you need to have sex this many times a day. You need to do this Like it's that scary. And it's like, that doesn't seem that far off from certain scenarios, you
With the
know?
lack of reproductive rights, women's rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It hit
Sure.
hard. Yeah. And it's also like, I love reading, but it's also like, it's terrifying how realistic this stuff is sometimes. And I know,
Yeah.
like, you can sit there and kind of read your books and like not even think about it in this real world scenario, but
But when you take a step back, once
yeah.
you finish, I don't know. So if I'm not reading, I'm on my phone.
Hmm.
But you're hit with the news. You're scrolling through Facebook. You're
Hmm.
hitting with it's right there, and it is coming in waves, and it is like a punch in the face. And then as soon as if you think about it, if you think about what media is being pushed on us, and if you think about the book that you're reading,
Hmm.
it's like there are so many layers, and it is all like it's like a puzzle. It's all kind of piecing together, and it's like you can't ignore it
No.
because it's right there, and it's
Hmm.
reality. And our
Hmm.
books reflect reality
Hmm.
significantly. Doesn't matter if it's in a dystopian world, in a fantasy world, there's always some base of reality in it.
Hmm.
And it sucks. But it's great
Very
for
much
us
so.
to it sucks because we're facing it, but it's like reading is like a way of processing it in another way
Yeah.
because we can't actually physically punch America's president in the face. Um,
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but you can read someone else punching a fictional king in the face, and it's like, yes, I can see that. It a little bit satisfying.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of going from that, my next ones are The Poison Daughter and Song of the Darkwood by Sheila Masterson. Poison Daughter really does lean on that same with women's rights, with
Hmm.
being told this is what you do. Poison Daughter follows Harlow,
Hmm.
who is she was married off to another her second husband, basically, because she couldn't. I'm not going to spoil it. There is no spoilers here. She's married off in an attempt for her family to try and gain more power, and use her to their advantage. And it's just really strongly, and it's the same with actually Song of the Dark. Have you read Song of the Darkwood yet?
Not yet.
Song of the Dark with Rowan. Very similar themes of woman empowerment because being a woman in an old white man's world where you're told to do what you have to follow certain rules, you have to do things the way that they tell you to, otherwise there's consequences for your actions for not doing what you're
Hmm.
told. People will be hurt, things will happen. um Issues with living in an old white man's world. um and just the whole thing of, oh, if you do this, we'll do this for you. The
Hmm.
whole give and
The
takes,
manipulation. Yeah.
the manipulation. And there was a really good quote in Song of the Dark, not Song of the Darkwood, Song of the Darkwood, yes, where they say when you can offer something that people need when they need it, their belief in you is what gives you power, and that is a lot of what we see now, especially with everything that's going on, is that there's there's a little bit of give, and then there's a lot of take. Let me give
Hmm.
this to you so you believe in me again, but then I'm going
Hmm.
to take everything else. I'm just going to siphon this stuff away from you because yeah.
And that's just politics and politicians nowadays. Like everything
Yeah.
is a lie. Everything they tell you to get voted in, to get this power, and then as soon as they have that power, it's a complete 180 switch. Although I think it is a little bit different with America, I would say.
Yes.
People were aware uh, of this man's ideologies and thoughts and opinions, and they a certain group of people voted him in again, which is unfortunate. And that's the thing. It's not just politicians that we're dealing with here. It's people who believe in these politicians. It's people who have the same opinions as these people in power that give them that power. And I don't know what we can do with that, but
I mean, I have some ideas, but they're
yeah,
kind of frowned upon,
yeah, yeah.
and I wouldn't get away with it.
No, unfortunately. But I think yeah, education and reading is just the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
It's really hard watching all the stuff happen, and then being in New Zealand because we're so removed. But then you get people in New Zealand who are very pro the current American administration, and you're like, you're not, and you're sitting there going, it's interesting with certain people in my life
Mm-hmm.
who are very pro him because
Mm.
they like the ideals that they've portrayed in the media of who this man is. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there going, if you actually truly knew, and I did say this, like, if you were you're a woman, if you were living in America right now, you would not have this. You would be
Mm-hmm.
missing all of these things because of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets brushed under the carpet. Oh, because he seems so like look, these are his beliefs, and I'm like, yes, okay. I share a similar religion to this man, but I am nothing like him. I feel like I aim to be a decent human being. I don't care who you are, what you look like, what you believe, how you identify, who you love. You're a person. You deserve to be loved, and you deserve to live.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I'm sitting there going and thinking. I am nothing like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad
Mm-hmm.
that I don't live in America because if I knew that we were there, this would be having a completely different conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary seeing certain people's mindsets, and you're just like, how can you even think that this is okay? Like,
Mm,
but then again,
because the
that's the
media,
thing of being in privilege, right? Like we're here in New Zealand. Like, oh, that wouldn't happen to me if I was over there.
mm,
Yes, it would, because
what,
it's happening to every single person over there, you know?
and
And
that's what's wrong with them, and that's what is wrong with the media is that the media will only show what it wants to show.
yeah,
And that is what screws it up for everyone. That is why it is so important to talk to your people in America, talk to your people anywhere that is facing this kind of shit. There's like actually get the information from the horse's mouth. Okay, you're
yeah.
living through this. What's actually happening? Because we
Hmm.
don't know. We see
Hmm.
snippets.
Hmm.
We see some snippets based in reality, and then we see a lot of pandering to make sure, so that way we stay on the good side of these people, because
Hmm.
if we go to
Hmm.
war, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. And I'm just sitting there going, let there be war and let us be on the other side fighting this asshole.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's the thing with media as well. Like, you don't know what fingers these people in power have. Like,
Mm,
they could be feeding what they want to the media. Like, hell, Trump passing a law or whatever, or a rule that whatever
mm,
journalist is sitting in the White House while he is doing his announcements or whatever have to be approved for what they are writing. That's just showing the control that these people can slowly
mm,
take. And it's not just immediately they come into power and they take all these things away from you. It's a slow progression. They get people on their side. They
mm.
get the money into the places that it needs to be put in for these things to start to change. And it's fucking terrifying.
It is. I mean, I think that is the issue with people in power.
Mm. Just take
And
them all out, guys.
just look,
Take them all out.
I always joke that I'd make a better prime minister than our current prime minister, but I'd also lose the plot after about an hour and I'd leave.
Yeah.
Because while we don't have the shit that's going on in America, I, even with New Zealand, with some of the things, some of the bylaws that have passed, especially through COVID,
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that get flown under the radar, you just sit there going, huh? Wait, what? No, huh?
When did that happen? Yeah.
And it's like, there was nothing. There was no, yeah. It's hard. And I honestly, I pray that like nothing, like we don't face anything like that. But with the way that the government goes, the rest of the world, Australia, New Zealand, whatever way America seems to go, things tend to, like
We
with the rest of
follow.
the world, America is a powerhouse. It
Mm-hmm.
is, all eyes are on America, and everyone seems to follow suit. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not reassuring with the way that the climate is there at the moment. Like,
No, and these things that the New Zealand government is doing and slowly taking away and removing certain things, and it's this very slow progression, and it's scary because you're sitting here watching it happen.
yeah. So here's the moral for everyone in New Zealand. It is election year this year. It is
Mm-hmm.
2026 is election year. Pay attention to the politics. Pay attention to the laws that they're wanting to bring into effect. Vote sensibly. Don't just go, don't pay attention. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good with politics
Not
because
neither.
it stresses me out. It's not a field I've ever really paid attention to. But I mean, we vote from 18, which I think is pretty standard. And I'm pretty sure the year my 18th birthday was the year I could vote. And I paid a little bit of attention, but I think as the years have gone on, as I've gotten older, I've started paying more attention to being like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, who's actually bringing in sensible things? But here's the thing: they say they're going to do things, and then they don't, and then they do other things, and then we sit there going, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Whoa.
You heard that too, ladies and gentlemen. It's my turn for sound effects.
That was like a whole crash bang and a wallop.
That was really fitting for today. What is your next book?
My next one is A Wolf in the Garden by Allegra Hall. I love Allegra Hall. I love this book. I am just in awe of this book and the discussions that Allegra kind of slides into this story, because we're following a Maori character who is struggling with her Maori culture because so many of her her language, her customs, her culture has slowly been
Mm,
taken away from the Maori people within New Zealand. And we're watching Ellie as she is really trying to reclaim her heritage and her culture and learning
mm,
Maori again and having her punamu on her and just seeing all of these little cultural references and watching her kind of teach her partner Maori, who is Van is American, and he really wants to get into it too because this is her life, this is her culture. And I think it's just really special that Allegra kind of had this within her story and kind of showing that um, like natives of countries are being destroyed and their cultures are being slowly taken away. And it is really important, especially with what is happening in New Zealand at the moment. Maori people are slowly losing more and more of their culture. Like New Zealand, Maori names are being taken away from things. Reading Maori stories in schools are being banned. Like there's so many things that are happening in New Zealand in regards to the Maori people. And I think that Allegra really made a stand with this book. And I think more people need to read it and kind of understand from the Maori perspective. And I think it hit a lot harder for me as well because I come from Ireland, which was a country that was taken over by the UK, who also didn't allow us to speak our own language. So now I don't even know my own native language.
wow.
And like, yeah, we are trying to bring it back, but it's never
Mm,
going to be the way that it was. um and yeah, I think I really related with that because being very proud to be Irish but not being able to speak the language that
mm,
my ancestors spoke. And yeah, we got our sports back and we got like a lot of our things back, but that language is never going to be the same. And
yeah.
yeah, I think that's why I really connected with this story, and just realizing that we need to nurture those native languages.
I think having come from so I only speak English. I am white. I am NZ European. I am white. But I was lucky enough that when I grew up, when I was in primary school, I was in Kapahaka.
Mm,
We did marry. We had to learn all those things. And then going into nursing, we learn about Te Tiriti o Waitangi and how we have to incorporate that into healthcare and how we have to care for our just for our people in a way that is all encompassing. And it's one of my favorite things about, I think, for me, being a mental health nurse as
mm,
my background. That's my love. That is where my passion is with the Māori model of health. It's called Te Whare Tapawha, which is the four pillars, and I love incorporating that because it shows that you've got the four walls of your house. You've got social, spiritual, mental, and emotional, and physical. One of those pillars fall, the rest of the house is wobbly, and it's such a good thing, and that's why I love with especially with what I do at work, is I get to do a lot of that all encompassing care. And that is what I
mm,
dread when they were trying to like figure out, like wanting to change the treaty and like taking out things. I'm sitting there going, fuck no. What are you
mm,
doing? You cannot change a historical document. You cannot change what is already written. You can't take it out of the things that we do. This is who we are as a people, and this is how we honor the people who were here before us, whose land
mm,
this was. I really hate this government.
mm, mm,
And yeah, it's just, it's infuriating. And it's our young people are not, our younger people, like even my brother, like they're not, my brother's 18, he's out of school, he's in university, but I don't think he got the education that I got. The
mm,
honoring our ancestors, we had kaimatuas, we had everyone involved in the community, and it was so important, and it kept it alive. And I
mm.
loved kapahaka as a kid. It was the best thing. I loved it. And I just don't think kids are getting that anymore and getting connected
No.
to New Zealand history. And of course, New Zealand history is told by a white man. And
Yeah.
so it's so important to honor your roots and your history. And I really did love A Wolf in the Garden for that, because it incorporated it so beautifully, and it
Mm-hmm.
spoke to, it was just so good to read. I loved it so much. And I'm so glad you were like, read it, damn it. And I'm like,
Please.
okay. I
What's your
can't wait
last
to
one?
read now. My last one is The Dagger and the Forbidden Air by Amelia J. This is a series I adore so much. Amelia is so, she's so talented. Everyone we've spoken about is so talented, and talking about what's going on, like incorporating real life situations in a way that we can process it better. And I really love like this whole series because it's basically based around oh, what's her name? Go. Hold on. Hold on. Nope, that's not who I want. Where is it? It's based around a character whose name I can't remember anymore. Ileana, who is this a secret heir, basically, but she doesn't know who she is. Um, no, she does know who she is. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I read book one, a really long time. But her stepmother is a dictator, basically, and it's very based in what we see at the moment, where anyone trying to fight against it's no, it's we will put everything at you to cancel out your voice. You do not matter. You are not who you say you are. Um, and the queen is very much like, you go, oh, this bitch, I've seen you before. I have seen you before. This is happening. Book one, book three is my favorite. Book three is, of course, the finale, but there's one highlight that I've got that I really love, which speaks to how it should be, which is, we do not fight for glory, grace from the gods, or for unfathomable riches. The fight we wage is for the very essence of our existence, the lands that have nurtured our hopes, and the people we hold close to our hearts. We fight because we are the last line of defense against the cruel, malicious beings that usurp my throne through treason and murder. And I just sit there and I think about that line, and I just go, this is like, we need to be fighting for what we believe, even if it's like, and we are, well, the people who are facing this shit are really fighting for it, and they need our support. They need to know that they are not alone, even if we can't be there physically taking down these people, which would be so nice because, rage. But it's these people, the people who are fighting for their rights, for the right to live as people. It's just, this whole series is fighting to be who you are and being allowed to be who you are, and it's just so critical to remember that you are worthy of your life. You deserve to live. You deserve to have a job, friends, family, love, kids, what you deserve. You deserve to be here. And that's the whole underlying thing, is you can't let anyone take that away from you, is you are who you are and you deserve to be who you are. Unless you're an idiot, then you can fuck off. But you deserve the life that you have. And you deserve more than the life that you have. You deserve to live and be safe and free and not be looking over your shoulder constantly going, someone's about to come and get me, like I'm not safe. And I really love that series. I actually need to do a reread. Yeah. It's well done.
It's on my TBR for this year.
Yay.
And I do want to say too that I know we've been bashing America quite a bit in this episode, and
we're not bashing America.
We're bashing Donald J. Trump and his
administration.
Yes,
we love you, America. We just don't love who's fucking up for you guys.
And we see the people who are standing up and fighting for what they believe in. We see the people who are protesting. We see the people who are dressing up like the Handmaid Tales ladies and making a stand. And I love it. And I support every single one of you. And we'll leave some links and some ideas on how to support down in the description. If you can donate, if you can write an email to some politicians. I know that there's been a bunch of emails that have been shared around the internet to kind of try and stop everything that's happening. And just sharing and educating and keeping yourself educated is really, really important.
Absolutely.
And
that was heavy.
This is a heavy episode. Yeah.
This is one that we've been stewing on for a while. I think you mentioned it, and I was thinking, and I remember coming back and like, we really need to. And I think we've both been thinking about it for a while on needing to do it. So it's, whilst a very heavy episode and not as fun and lighthearted as it usually is, it's something that it needs to be talked about, and more people need to be talking, because the more you talk, the more your voices rise up, and voices need to be heard, especially now. Yeah. You deserve to live safely and well.
Absolutely.
And on that note, I'm not going to ask any other books. I think we've gone gotten into it.
We've gotten into it.
We've gotten very into it. So, on a lighter note, to end the session this has been very positive in ways. On a more positive note, spark of joy, because in this dark, grungy world, we need to know that there is still light out there. There's still pockets of brightness. There's little stars of happiness. So, what is your spark of joy for this week?
My spark of joy is running a 5 kilometer run on Saturday. So I got possibly. So I got roped into running a race with Maddie and Steph, two of my Bookstagram friends down in Auckland in March. And I've been kind of training for it, and I've been putting a lot of work in. And Saturday was the day I was like, right, I'm going to try and hit 5K. And this is like my third ever time hitting a 5K. So I just head down, did a nice little like a slow run, and I did it. So I'm really happy with myself and like really proud that it is an 8K run in March. So I still have like 3K to work on, but the 5K was like the over halfway point that I know that I can run. So I was really happy with that. But yeah, what's your spark of joy?
You're insane. You're all insane. Maddie, Steph, you guys are nuts. I've had a very full on weekend. So I mean, this entire weekend that I've had has been a big spark. Friday, I was with my friends watching movies, and it's nice because we're all back in Auckland, so we all can hang out. And it had been a bit of a week, a very stressful week, so getting to see them. And then I helped organise a bachelorette, and so we had a bachelorette party on Saturday. Over the weekend, I had a total of 7.5 hours sleep, so I'm very tired, but my cup is very full. And it's so nice being able to be with my people again, because I've really missed them, despite the fact that when I'm with them, I don't sleep. The lights go on, but there is nobody home. I said I can't have a late night. And I got home at 2:15 on Saturday morning. Oh, I love my friends. I really do, but I really need to be more conscious of the time.
You need to like stop double booking yourself too. Like at least have a day in between.
I'm never gonna do that. I said at work today, like I was on the phone to my mum yesterday, and she said my parents have been. So I do dinner with my grandparents once a week, once a week, not once a week, once a month. And then my mum said to me, "We need to do dinner like once a month because we never see you anymore." And I'm like, "Sure." And then mum goes, "So what are you doing on the weekend?" And I'm like, "I got stuff on." No, sorry, no. And she's like, and I'm like, I am booked every weekend until like mid-March.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with me.
You need to get those bookings in early, eh? Because your calendar fills up so quick.
You gotta book me in advance. So you're like, right, so what are you doing 6 weeks from now? I'm like,
I've got a free spot right now.
I got a free spot between 12 and 3 on the 32nd of October. When's that? Never. It's just I accept the consequences of my actions. I'm having a good time. It's nice to be with my people. So what is your plug of the week?
My plug of the week is setting a goal for yourself and slowly making progress over time. So just like running my 5K, I set myself running my 8K run in March, and every week I've just been slowly working on it. And as you slowly work on it, you start to see those progressions. And my Saturday run was just a tick in the box to be like, yes, I'm heading in the right direction. And I just really recommend just setting yourself that goal and then giving yourself enough time to work on it. Whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is, just set yourself that goal that you think will improve your life or just something that you want to accomplish, and just slowly make progress on it.
Absolutely.
What about you?
Do the thing you're passionate about and make it work. That's literally what I wrote. As I've said, like being a nurse, I don't get to do a lot of my true passion is mental health, and for myself, I've actually started formulating and I've written a proposal for work to actually get to do more of what I love and make it work within the clinic. And so today I actually sat down with my manager, who we all know notoriously is not very supportive. But I actually sat down with her and I said, "This is my idea. What do you think?" And she came back. She's actually in full support of it. And I was like, "What the fuck?" So my plug. If there is something you find is lacking in your workspace, and you know that it's something, and if it's something you're passionate about, and you know that it's a hole that you can fill, go for it. Create that plan. Talk to the people. There's such a need. If there's a need, fill it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to grab this thing by the balls to the wall, commit. And so now she's going to present my proposal on Thursday, and I'm sitting there going, but I know at least the doctor, our GP leader's behind it as well. So talk to the
That's
people.
so good.
I'm so proud. I'm very proud of myself because gave me so much anxiety.
I'm so proud of you. That's amazing.
So we shall see how it goes. I need to finish writing my proposal tomorrow at work, and then I've got to give it to her. But I've spoken to so many people to make sure I'm not stepping on toes. And it's like, take that, just do it. Like, what's the worst they're going to do? Say no?
Yeah.
That's my mentality. My mentality over the weekend was, I can do anything at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said that as I was opening the wine with a cork. And someone was like, "Do you know how to do this?" I'm like, "I can do anything at least once." And they went, "That's not reassuring." I'm like, what else am I supposed to say? Yeah, I know how to do this one thing I've never done before. And then they were like, And I went, whoop, and I was like, ta-da! And I'm like, and they said, "But can you do it again?" And I'm like, "No, I've exceeded my cork popping abilities." Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us for this very deep episode of the Broke Book Girl podcast. Make sure to subscribe so we know you're here listening and that you want to hear us keep yapping about serious things and not serious things. We appreciate you all day, every day, and we thank you for your time that you spend with us. Make sure to follow along on our Instagram and our TikTok at the Broke Book Girls Pod. Make sure to subscribe or follow on your listener of choice. And where can they find you?
You can find me at Runaway Irish Girl pretty much on all platforms. What about you?
You can find me at Cheese and Reads. I did it right this time. And tune back in every Wednesday for a brand new episode. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. It may seem dark, but it will get better. If it doesn't, we'll just set the world on fire.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.